I was asked about being a caregiver. So let me offer this because this can be tricky. I've been a caregiver in my late 20s for my father when he was diagnosed with cancer, as a caregiver for my sons in my early 30s because they were born prematurely at 6 months, and we spent the better part of 3 months in the NICU experience. And then there's just regular parenting stuff where children get sick for days, and they were sick a lot of the time for the first 2.5, 3 years of their life. There were more sick days than there were well days. The thing that's been universal for me, and again, I'm just sharing what worked for me. Pick what works for you, if anything, that I have to offer. I could not care for my father. I could not care for my sons if I wasn't caring for me. So with my father, there were days where I wasn't going to leave the hospital, but I needed to create care moments. So I journaled. And the way I journaled was to leave the bedside. So I was away from the monitors. I was away from the doctors. With the boys, their mom and I would leave and go to the movies. You know, it was a way to get out. We didn't go to the movies and go home. We went to the movies and then came back to the NICU, but it gave us a break. Sometimes you won't have the ability to leave the hospital. So I left and went down, which is traditional for so many. I left and went down to the cafeteria. But I made sure at the cafeteria, I treated myself to something. I love chocolate, so I needed to have something that was for me, that was nurturing my journey. And I know, because I've spoken to a lot of people around this topic, there are some people that just do not have a village or a community that they can pull from. They have family and friends, but the family are away and can't get in. The friends are usually too busy, or they just have very few friends, and what they're able to do is limited. So this caregiving process for me, let's take nurturing somebody else's journey out of the equation. We get to nurture our own. And that was the thing that became most clear while I was caring for my father, that I wasn't really caring for myself. And then I went back to when I was diagnosed with cancer at age 17, and it was, oh snap, you know, I wasn't caring for myself before that experience, and I never heard or really learned to take care of myself. So now, while in the physical position of caregiver, with my father, it became evident that I needed to create these breaks and that I needed to create balance. And yes, there were moments where I felt guilty, which was stuff I made up. Guilt is I've done something wrong. Shame is I'm a bad person, right? So when I wanted to hang out with friends, I felt guilty, and then I did it anyway. And then I found that the guilt diminished when I realized that, like they say on airplanes, I needed to put on my oxygen mask first before attempting to serve another. So in all of this, I'll simply say, any attempt to honor a commitment to care for another person must be predicated on your willingness to receive the exact thing that you're offering to somebody else, which is care. And you may need to be creative with yourself to find or create little ways to bring little toys with you, coloring books with you, if it's, you know, going to somebody's house, or if it's an extended stay at a hospital. To tap into people that can come in and watch, or people that can just come in and sit with you, and then maybe you can leave the bedroom or the living room, wherever they are, and sit in a different area of the house, or sit out back. Even if it's cold, put on a jacket and just sit out back. Those small things over time make a difference to the one providing the care. And I'll be honest with you, for those who are able to communicate their love for the care they're receiving, it means the world to them to know that the caregiver is being cared for. So, this one is a rough one because I've been in it, through it, and I understand it, and I know that not everybody's situation is the same. So I'll only end with, please, be gentle with yourself. That, in and of itself, is an act of care.